Yay! Hello, everybody. How you doing? Welcome. It's the middle of June. Aren't you guys supposed to be floating down a river? Oh my goodness. So welcome. We have a new library to play with. It's kind of the only thing I have on the agenda for today is playing with this library. So, hello. What's that blue thing? Let's see. Is that? Oh, it's the light. Like, that's kind of bright over there. So this is Cloudform. I have to get the other camera going so you can see. I'm actually playing this live. What you hear is what you get right out of Unify. We do not do smoke and mirrors here. This is what you hear is what you see is what you get. In fact, if I go to any of these other grooves and call them up and play them, sounds just like it does if you call those up in standalone. I'm not even in a DAW, so there's no plugins. This is just straight plugged into the audio of the mixing board. Let's see. How's everybody doing? Hello, Bobox, Marcel, Don, Brightband, Rybot. Hey, my friend in Los Angeles. Good to see you, Bri. Oh. What did I get myself into? Let's see, there's Richard, Keith, Jeff and Music, and you're in Australia. Wow. Hey Siri, what time is it in Sydney, Australia? It's 5 o'clock in the morning in Australia. That's crazy, dude. Welcome. If you got up at 5 o'clock to see this, I really appreciate that. So this is the new baby. I am so excited. This is Cloudform. This is a library I've been working on for a while. Since before I went to Berlin and so forth. Good noon. Hi there, Gottfried. Good to see you. So this is a library. It was originally going to be called Starfield, if you recall. A couple of weeks ago in the live stream, I was calling it Starfield. Because of the spirit, once I finally record all these Koshi chimes and their lovely, beautiful sounds, it didn't sound like space. Even the playable versions and some of the other sounds that I made and stuff, it started to be more, like I said in my video that I just released the walkthrough. Oh, Athena is saying hi to someone. This is more inspiring clouds around the planet. So we'll go through the library. I'll give you an overview of it. Yes, it's live and names change all the time. Hi, Wolf's Kid. Good to see you. Thank you. Good New Year. Great. Lake Constance. Oh, cool, man. I love seeing where everybody is at. It's one of my favorite things that People are just joining from around the world. It's always just a fun thing. So Cloudform is a combination of elements. Back in the day on the Roland samplers, what's his name? Arnie Schultz, a friend of mine. We actually released a library for Omnisphere many years ago. I even have to look. I can't believe we have like 160 libraries at the website. It's crazy. Let me go over here and set a couple things. Don't show the bookmarks bar. I said no. It shouldn't show it, but it's showing it. Oh well. Let's see if we go plugin guru. Let me find it really quick. If I go to Omnisphere. See, by the way, if you want to know how to navigate the website, if you come over here, these green boxes let you choose a specific plugin, and then it will list all the libraries just for that plugin. And then, like in a case like this, there's even more than this, so you can hit load more, and it'll make sure you have them all. Let me see here. Here it is. What was it? This one, Instant Score. Instant Score. This has a whole bunch of samples from Arnie Schultz. And Arnie made some really famous text. And by the way, we have a Father's Day sale going on, so everything is 40% off. The newest libraries, this library and Unify are not on sale, but everything else is on sale at the website. So you can get this for a much lower price than what its retail is. Arnie Schultz is he's made some iconic sounds in this library. We haven't brought that to Unify. Maybe someday we will. I don't know. That's one that's gray area. I'm not sure. I'd have to get a hold of Arnie, and I pay licensing to these guys, and he travels a lot, and I don't know. But anyway, he made these one finger environmental, beautiful chordal with things fading in and bells and just all sorts of magical stuff going on. And so the idea behind this library was to put together components that you could make similar things. Starting with these really cool chords, just playing one note, and you have something really beautiful to build with. And you can go up here to these Koshi chimes that I recorded, these little suckers right here. I recorded them doing all sorts of things. So we say, load this, just layer 1 into Unify. Let's take it up an octave. And instead of having it just fade in, let's do this. We're going to make a whole bunch of bonus patches in this live stream, so get ready. That's just what I want to do. So we're going to give it a really slow filter attack and release with a lot of resonance. Maybe a bandpass filter, so it's there and then it's gone. And then I wanted to play and randomly choose different places in the sample to play from. That's kind of cool. Let's put a big bass. There's these really cool like growth orb. Let's just load this up and let's take this down an octave. So you can make really cool environmental chordal things. Let's say something even more interesting. Let's get this pad, the chord. I want to do more than that. So I'm going to go over here and turn it. So now it's pumping to a techno beat. We don't want to do a techno beat. We're going to say 2 bars. And if you click on the view of Pump House, it pops up this graph of what it's doing. And you can go to presets, and I'm going to go to numbered and say 8 steps down. Oh, wait, I did 8 steps up, didn't I? I want to say numbered 8 steps down. So it's, maybe I want it to be 16th notes. So instead of 8, let's say 16ths, numbered pulses. And then I'm going to just play around with the curvature of these. Now I need this to stick out more. So Noisebox is really cool at adding distortion. But you can limit the distortion with the pre-filter. And then I can go to the mix, and I can start to combine some of the low end with the high end. And then after this, let's put an EQ to excite those frequencies that I've brought up with the distortion. So let's go flex. That's kind of cool, right? Yes, it's Father's Day, and the day after Father's Day, which is tomorrow, is my birthday. Isn't that funny? Lucky me. Now, I actually think I want to have this do some dancing. I don't want it just to stay open like this. So what we can do, we can tuck this into a Unify layer just by going here to the little bullet and say move into an embedded Unify layer and adding a utility CC writer so that it's doing, and let's just have it do a pulse saw up. Because then I can like have control over what it's doing. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna have it do a triangle because I want it to go up and down from what I'm gonna do. So let's say triangle. Oh wait, I said square. And let's open up this Unify layer because now it's embedded, right? The key to that is now I can go to the knobs and any knob that I set to CC20 starts to move. And now this has the noise box effect right there, right? So all I have to do is open up this control source and say, give me access to the effect, noise box, post filter frequency. Now I don't want to go all the way down. So I'm gonna take this where it's going down and bring it about halfway. I'm changing curvature shape. Now with this kind of hitting some front frequencies, it's making me think it'd be fun to have a delay. Let's do this. I want this to be a little bit more like so let's go to our auxiliary bus. Let's go to, we want to add a delay auxiliary effect, and we go here to low pass filter 8th notes. And here's one of my favorite tricks. You know how you you load up most delays and effects and so forth, even in your DAW, and it's like, I can open this up and I have a choice of a low pass filter or a high pass filter. I can't do both, but the nice thing with Unify is if you go over here and you say EQ filter max and set this to be a high pass filter, just like that, and then move this in front of the delay, I have now added a high pass filter before the delay to get rid of the low end. So I can have it just delay the very tippy tops instead of this. I don't want it hitting all those frequencies, so I can limit what frequencies it hits with a high pass filter to just all these guys it can't touch because they're being filtered out. And then let's see here. I want to go back to the bell motion. Let's make this a little more interesting. Let's put a blue ARP. And let's say maybe we'll go like this and say off, but we want it on just on quarter notes to start. Now you can't tell that it's playing downbeats because it's not playing in the right spot. So go fast attack. Maybe we'll fix it so it's just. Let's see, is this playing what I want it to do? Let's see, let's bring down the release. Maybe I need a different sample. . 'Cause 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 ' There's what I want. Little random. And since it's so soft, I can go over here and we have on our utility, oh, actually it's on dynamics, we have a stereo gain. And I actually want this to chirp a little more. So I'm gonna do my favorite thing, this little pitchy G trick. If we go over here, we say like this, one shot, and we have it do a, and go to pitch. Maybe we gotta go eighth notes and have this be like, that's not quite what I want. Let me see how it sounds in the mix. See what I'm going for? Something kind of like the little pulsy thing. This is where experimentation, and a lot of times, many hours are required. Four. There we go. There we go. That's kind of what I was looking for. And this has a delay down here in auxiliary bus 3. And let's see. Maybe we'll add one more bass to this. So we have this more solid thing that stays solid in there. So let's go to like maybe on point. Well, actually, dominant overlord might be cool. Let's have this go down an octave. You know what? This bass, because it's made in a granular process, is a little unstable. It's a chemical process that's a little too destabilized. So there we go. Put a little resonance on this so you hear it more. Taking shape. See, it's starting to get a little... What should we call this? What name should this have? I thought I changed the name of this already. Oh, I missed that. Here, I'll fix it right now. 6, 14. Sorry, Gottfried. All right, now that we've got that quarter note thing happening, we need to randomize it a little bit more. And I'm gonna do one more thing. Let's make this a little more interesting. Let's say duplicate this layer, and then I'm gonna move this layer right up there by the other Koshi chime and pan them left and right. And right after the blue ARP on the second one, I'm gonna do one of my other new tricks that I like is to put in a jitter box. This is random timing, right? But you can change this to be fixed at eighth notes and to be set at simple note time. So it's only eighth notes. So I have that quarter note on one side stable, and the other side it's randomly going between an eighth note before, an eighth note after, or right on time. Maybe I want to add a little bit more rhythmic to this, give it a little bit more stability. So let's go to the drums. And let me call up something like Star Club 1. Nah, I don't want to go quite techno. I wanted, this is a drum kit that's, I didn't even give you the I jumped right in and made it. Let's double time it. And let's make it, there's all sorts of ways to get timbral variety. I'm gonna use a filter, LFO, so let's bring this down. So it's really soft, right? So you barely hear it. Then I'm gonna go over here, just turn on LFO that's synced. Maybe quarter notes. And then I'm gonna change the phase so it gets to where I want it to be. Transpose it up a little bit. Let's find some other notes. Here's what I want. Tick it. And I want it to be faster. So I'm gonna call it this pump house that's right here. And I'm gonna set it to really fast timing, saw down. Let's see. Do I want to double this? Let's see. Maybe I want to do something. There we go. Okay, so what should we call this? Oh, dark clouds. I like that. Okay, cool. Save. So this is a Z BPM chord, because it's anything that you play one note and it plays a chord is, to me, goes into the chord category, so you know where to find those things. Dark clouds. And so we go save at, and then we got to put for tags bonus, because anything I make that's new gets a bonus tag assigned BONUS, so I can come back and you can search and find them in the future just by saying bonus. Bonus. Uh-oh. Why are these all to bonus? I didn't put bonus for all these guys. I'll figure it out after the live stream. Anyway, so yeah, so we made one patch already. So BPM, chord, dark clouds. I think the bass might need to be a little bit more depressing. So this meow, it sounds, I was just watching Superman, the movie, before I started the live stream. Get a little bit more sinister. Maybe we'll make it a little French with a little LFO. Just a little bit. You might not even notice this in the mix, or you might. You know what? I think I have to sync it, because let's go over here. Let's have it be a sod, actually custom shape, so we can have it be the right shape I want. There we go. And let's have it just be all right. We want to stop right there, and then have an envelope. There we go. There we go. That's good. All right, so update, hold down Option, click Save. That's the way to do a quick update to a patch. Blue Train to Heaven. It's the small tweaks, man. The goal to a good programmer is to know the tools that you have and then know what you want to solve with those tools and be able to hear things and go, oh, that needs to be like this. Like I'm listening and noticing the release is not quite right. So all these guys, I'm going to take their releases, make them a little bit more cohesive. So you also need to be shorter. And I'm going to bring the filter envelope shorter so that the filter will get darker when you take your note off the key. Because I try to think of as many different ways you could play this as possible. The other thing for a good programmer is to not just play it the way you play it. Play it. Do things differently than the way we might normally use it so you can kind of hear what the patch does. I mean, we just made a 7 oscillator patch when you think about it. This is what I love about Unify, and that those of you that are here watching love about Unify, or you want to understand, Unify lets you make any layer become an oscillator in a sound. And you're not stuck with the 3 oscillators and a sub and a noise of Serum 2 or something like that. Serum 2 could be one of your oscillators that you build with. So it just opens up massively huge doors once you let your brain kind of like open up and see the world this way. When I call up a lot of these things, there's a lot going on. It took 3 different oscillators. All right, so anyway, let me give you the quick overview. I'm sorry, I got sidetracked. So the heart of this library is these chimes that one of our customers, Bert, a wonderful customer that emails me from time to time, tells me what he's working on. When I did Purity, remember Purity with the crystal bowls and stuff? Do I have that in here? I don't have it in here to show you. He said, dude, you gotta get Koshi chimes. That's those we use because he does music for healing and all that meditative type of music. And he's like, Koshi chimes are a really big thing in that. And so I bought some and I did some research, and they're really cool. Let me pop up some pictures as I give you the tour. So let's go over here to photos. There's this photographer in Scotland I love to follow, and he says photos in the most special ways. We'll go over here and we'll look at some photos. It's like, oh, that's such a, I mean, different parts of the world we say things differently, right? So it's all good. I celebrate it all. It's photos. So let me show you if this will ever hurry up and update the photos that I wish to show. Let's see. Yes, here we go. So where's the new photos? I took photos. This is all my library. Because I took photos of this that is not showing me. If I have to, I have. Oh, maybe they're just in Lightroom. So let me do this. And let's go like this. Go reveal in the Finder. There's over 50 photos in this library that are custom-made images. Some are real. And so this one happens to be real. This is inside of one of these Koshi chimes. If you look inside of it with them, you see these spikes sticking up. There's 8 of them. And so what happens is there's this little tiny plastic, it looks like a button you would use on a shirt, but they have just a single hole drilled through it. I actually took one of the Koshi chimes away and disassembled it. So like, here's the bottom part, here's the top part. Then there's another string that's connected, and then I made my own drumstick. See this? Let me make sure you guys can see this. This is my own drumstick. Using right there in the middle is the Koshi chimes button. And I put it on this so that I could, here's the one I disassembled. So I took the strings out so that nothing is hitting it. And then check this photo out. This photo. This will explain it all. This is what I did for multiple days and hours and hours and hours. I taped up these dang Koshi chimes so that I could get tape blocking all 7 tines, leaving only one available so I could play it with this stick. So I'm here at 3 in the morning because that's when it's the quietest, holding this in front of these really nice microphones. Look at these microphones that I used. These like this. So I had these big fat head ribbon microphones from Cascade that are just really, really nice and very smooth sounding and so forth. Actually, for the single hits, I did it different. I did this. I used a Royer ribbon microphone and then the 2 Rode NT55s on top. And you have no idea how hard it is. You have very limited space before you hit a Koshi chime tine to play it. But I did it so that you have phrases, like all these kind of phrases. And I wanted them to be warm and beautiful. That's why we use the ribbon microphone, because the Rodes, they're very accurate, but they were too bright. So when you transposed it, it didn't have this just beautiful warmth to it. But I also played these singles. So if you go over here to the round robin dry, you know, I didn't get as many samples that worked as I would like to have, but it was such a pain in the butt process, I just gave up after a couple days of it. So you can play the chimes, and if you put your, in fact, I made it even easier. There's these things called 8 notes. This is giving you the 8 times from C to C. So you can play the Koshi chime this way. And there's 4 of them. There's air, there's aqua. Aqua's minor, earth is major. So you can play Koshi chimes, or you have, like, here's all 40 phrases across the keyboard. And when you go to the singles, there's also, you can turn on a sub-os, and there's actually on page 2 of the macro knobs is a sub on and off. So and I tried to tune them the best I could. These suckers, let me tell you, they have really interesting frequencies. The fundamental and the harmonics are not necessarily in tune. So it's close. I call it close enough for hip hop. So it's in the right ballpark, at least, to get there. So the Koshi chimes are really the cool thing in this library that I think not many people have tried to sample these. They're hard to sample. So they're here. Then the chords are probably the other thing that I think is really unique. And there's 14 different chords. And I give them to you in 3 different recipes, I guess you would call it. There's the slow cinematic. There's the more normal. And I turn on layer 2's bass. And then 3 is for hip hop pop. So I did this to all these different different chords. You got, so again, here's cinematic. Kind of in between, and there's even a knob for pitchy G. You would take it away, sub on and off. So there's major ones, there's minor. Turn on the bass. Now, say you want to use a different bass, all you have to do, let's say Serum 2. Oh wait, I gotta have a space in there, right? There it is. So Serum 2, there's an update. Okay, I don't need the update. Go over here to the factory, bass, maybe a Reese. Then go over here to your envelope, long envelope. Now I'm using Serum 2, as the bass instead of the sine waves. So it's very easy to swap out whatever you want to use to be the bass, to be whatever you want. If you want to add something else for the chords, it's fun to build those. In fact, if we were to go, in fact, I wanted to do one of these. So let's do this. I can't give you bonus patches using Serum 2. We'll make bonus patches in a minute. I want to show you the library. I'm gonna get sidetracked again because I love to make patches so much. But we'll make a big chord. I want to add additional synth parts to a chord. I'll show you how to do that. But anyway, there's different chords. Here's Space Fox, is really pretty. And if you need something to stick a little bit better in the mix, this is why we have master effects at the output of every one of these patches. I've got quite a lot going on already, but you can definitely hit more frequencies. The high shelf, bring this down, and this says where it's like this, right? So anything above this frequency is going to get boosted with frequencies. So if I have it way up high, you don't hear it. As I bring this down, it's adding more until it's all the way to the bottom, and now it's even boosting the bass, right? So you can get tonality to fit in your mix better. You can do that kind of stuff to it. The other thing that's unique with this is, I told you guys the story. I had crazy situation. I now have a 6'6" grand piano. In fact, here, I'll show you a picture of it really quick. So go over here. Go over here. This woman my mom went to high school with was in a situation where she had to move. And she'd been saving this incredible piano for her daughter, her granddaughter. And her granddaughter wasn't able to take it because she's married with 3 kids in Texas. No room for it. And so I have this incredible, beautiful piano in my house. It's just beautiful. And I just signed the papers on this house. So I'm paying for this house. It's no longer a rental house. I own it. So this piano, the first things I sampled from it were drums, where I'm hitting the soundboard with sticks and all sorts of things to make this really cool. And I recorded some kick drums. I did something kind of unique. There's the original dry, but around it are 4 other samples of reverb processing, so you can have it dry. And then pop up a version with reverb ambience on it. Here's a kick drum. There's 3 variations. So you can go like. So you can get really, really cool sounds. I made 31 drum patterns for this. So if you come up here, you have and the drum sounds all came from my piano. Playing the harp with brush sticks, playing with drumsticks, all sorts of things. So see how that first kick has reverb, the second one doesn't? So it's really cool to have the same kicks presented in different ways. A lot of libraries don't do that for you, but I do. I think of all these different ways of being a little unique from something I've done before, because this is library 55 for Unify. So we have to think out of the box and think of new things all the time, right? Now, I also want to point out there's this pattern knob. This will let you cycle to all 31 patterns, actually. So you can make your own pattern when you're DAW just by moving this. Do this for 8 measures and pull out 1 measure where you did something super cool and make that a pattern for a song. You can do all sorts of really fun things that way because we're cycling. Watch the MIDI box. This is kind of funny. So watch right here when I play this. I'm literally cycling between 31 different tracks of MIDI data. Something you can't do in a DAW. It's not easy to do that in your sequencers. So that's something that's really fresh for Unify. And because there's dubstep halftime patterns, techno patterns, chill patterns all together, you can get all sorts of cool, unique, alternate kind of things. Layer this with a drum kit playing the same thing if you want to get even more weird stuff happening out of it. So the Koshi chimes, the chords, the piano from drums, the drum kit from piano, that's the start. And then I made all these really cool synth patches with software plugins. This is one that I made with Universal Audio's Mini Moog. It just has the best 3 oscillator growly filtered low end I can think of. There's other sounds I use Novum to make. So this has this motion stuff in it. All patches have custom imagery, so you can, if you go to ResFall, it's pretty much the end of the world as you know it, you know. And then there's really, the other thing I recorded with his piano was something really cool and unique. It's called Piano Striker. It's me using a nylon tip drumstick to hit the string of the piano. And you get this just really, really cool, unique really cool. You combine this with ResFall. Pretty cool. Combine it with any synth bass and it just adds this really cool really cool texture to your sounds. Then there's some synth patches down here after the chords and the drums. Oh, there's also these piano hits. I'll show you a second. There's this cool lead. There's pads. And again, cool artwork to go to Triple Troubles. The artwork's really cute. Right? That kind of stuff is really fun. There's some really nice plucks in here. Diver's Delight. Stuff like that. Some really beautiful synths. Really nice. Never Alone. This is one that's got, I think I said it's, look, oh, this is nice. This is the boat. Teddy Bear in the Boat. Now, well, I won't even talk about it, but anyway, some really cool images. We're thinking about the future a little bit because there's some cool things happening with Unify 2 in regards to the images. So this library, when it gets loaded into Unify 2, it looks really nice. Modular synthesizers in space, gotta have it. And then there's all the bonus patches, which I showed you some of. These bells came out lovely. This is combining bells. We got the 0G vibes. Along with the, let's see. This is from, if you open up Guru Sampler, you'll see that this is from the standard library, from the Mega Magic Bells and Winds folder. It's the Chorus Dreams bells that I made many years ago. And you combine that with the vibe sound, it's just... And then the fun extra sauce is there's an attack. This is something I pioneered with the Del Norte library I did like maybe 6-7 years ago. It came with a ton of attacks. And so I included those in the standard library in the Del Norte attacks folder. This has actually, I was only going to do just a few, then I ended up putting all of them in here. All the attacks, because it's kind of like the D50 concept. These attacks, if you layer them with, here's without it. So I'm imposing this cool attack. And it sounds like part of the sound. It's a cowbell. Or more like an go-go bell in this case, yeah. So if you cycle through just the attacks in this patch, tambourine, you can even get away with setting it to be not pitched. Find the pitch that you want for it, and now it stays at that pitch. Because everything else below it is changing pitch, it works. If you solo this by itself, it's a tambourine playing. Now, it changes a little bit because there's a filter key tracking. So turn this off, make sure this is open, and now it's the same across the whole keyboard. And now I have this nice tambourine. So there's all sorts of tricks. In fact, let me show you another cool power tip. Let's get rid of that attack. One cool thing with Unify is you can make presets that you just go like this and call up. You could call up your favorite Serum patches. You could call up your favorite Omnisphere patches. There's folders in here that I have made for the different plugins inside of Unify. So the DX has all these keyboard banks of FM. So if we go plucked and open this up, and you hit cart, you're now looking at a cart of 32 DX7 patches. So you can do this. To add an FM attack, then put some reverb on it. Or, let's get rid of that. If you go over here and you go to Guru Sampler, I made right here attacks automatically for you to just call up. And there's low pass filter or high pass filter, which means the filter is set to a high pass, which means it will always be bright, but you can get rid of the body. Low pass means it will always have low end, but you can get rid of the high end. So you can choose which version you want. So if I go attack low pass filter and open this up, it's already in the Unify attack folder, so I can just maybe then go to chorus. And you can put cool attacks to any patch. You could be playing with a unified library for something. Go, ooh, it would be cool if I had a new attack on this. Go right here to layer, go to Guru Sampler, call up attack low pass filter, start playing around with the different samples because there's like over 60. Some of these in here include wind attack samples where I pulled out the fundamentals so you'd have. Like tune this down and quiet. Now you have this cool breathy element. And again, because there's no pitch to this, you could set this to be unpitched. So you can do all sorts of crazy, fun programming, things like that. Let's see. I haven't checked chat in a little while, so let me see what you guys are saying. Cool, John. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you, Wolf. I appreciate it. Well, in Unify 2, we have changed a little bit how it's presented to make it actually even easier in some respects. I can't talk about all that stuff now, but the concept of what you're seeing, instrument layers, auxiliary, and master effects, we're keeping that all the same. But how you access it, the information you can see, the information the plugin gives you is just, it's so much better. I can't wait till we can talk about what we're doing, but we're not there yet. Paul is working on, I don't even know if he's here, but he's deep under the skin of some pretty heavy stuff right now. So send your prayers to Paul. He's working on something pretty cool. Okay, so as you can see, there's all these bonus patches. Again, this is more like just a tips and tricks and having fun and making patches video. How many weeks before release will you? I'm not sure. We got to get at least to a beta phase, and we're not there yet. So. My favorite kind of patches, and I haven't made one, so we'll make one for this, are the ones that are called drone. I love these, like Cinema Sojourn. These are patches where one Guru sampler, because one of the things I asked Shane for when we did this was that unpitched option, so that you could have it play just one sample at one pitch, and here it's C. So if I play above this one layer, it stays at C the whole time. So then you can play around with it. You can. That C is still there, even when I'm playing an E major chord. So let's make a drone in this new library because I want to do that. So let's find what we want to have be the drone. Probably one of the plucks, because these plucks. So let's go over here to this layer and say unpitched. If I want, I could choose just a sample. If I wanted to have a different vibe, I could choose a really high sample. Because when I get to C, it's all kind of distorted. Or I could use a sample more in the normal range. Let's do that. I'm going to filter it so it's expressive, and I want to bring this up a little bit so it's a little bit more expressive on your amplitude, which is volume. Now, let's do this. Let's load another copy of itself into a new layer. And then let's open up this Guru sampler, and just for fun, we have 97 different maps to play with. So I could go to like the basses, I could go to like Piano Striker. That's kind of cool. Let's see what else we got. Let's go to the synths. And for these, maybe we'll samples start a little bit later so that we're skipping the beat. Because a lot of times with samples, I like to keep the unique natural fading you hear. But in cases like this, I don't want it to fade in. I want it to be right there. So that's what sample start is for. Let's do this, make it dark. Let's do that, and let's add Piano Striker to this, because I like that Piano Striker quality. So say load layer 1 of Piano Striker. Let's have it go up an octave by holding down Option Alt and clicking on Transpose. And I need this synth sound to have more weight, so I'm going to give it some reverb. And the low end is bugging me a little bit on the drone. So I'm gonna use a fun trick that I do inside of Noisebox. I'm gonna use this as a high pass filter. So if you click right here, you go to your distortion type. Let's bring it down so it's not very strong. I know. I just thought of this. I want to use a chord with the note for the drone. So let's go over here and find, it's a major. So let's say major. Let's see if this works. And let's tell this, so instead of transposing, we say fixed pitch. Oh, and now in this case, when I'm using different samples of chords, I have to choose a sample. So I'm going to choose. This might not work. That might work because it's not quite such strong in the chord. So I can turn it kind of into a pluck. That's interesting. And Piano Striker needs to be a little bit shorter. And I want to have it random the attack a bit. Now I need something else really strong for the main pitch to. Let me see if I go life drops, and let's call this chord up here. Let me just listen really quick, make sure these. Oh, you're still transposing. You gotta be just there. Because otherwise, if you say all samples, what it does is says unpitched, but now it plays the pitch of the different key ranges of C and G samples. We'll go C, G, C. I was hearing it shift chords, and I was like, that's not right. So if you use this fixed pitch thing, you have to, and you hear the filter, it's tracking, so I don't want it to do that. So we turn the filter down to 0, and the filter. try to get it so it's more consistent across the whole keyboard. There we go. Let's turn this down a little bit. That's kind of cool. I want to try one more thing. I'm going to go layer, add, Guru sampler. I think I have piano. Did I do the electric piano? Classical intimate pop, bright piano. I did not. Oh, here, Rhodes. Let's do Rhodes bright. Maybe it needs to be the soft Rhodes. Here we go. Actually, I want to do a velocity switch. So here's a shortcut. So we're going to go Unify Library, Standard Library, Keys. Find one of these rolleds. Like, see, there's one that I like up here. There's quite a few I like, but where is it? Dreamy Roads. Load this as a new Unify layer, and then open up. I don't know why. Oh, you know, it's my default window size. That's what it is. And then I will find in here the velocity switching Rhodes. Right here, 093. So I want to get rid of the first two and the last. And I want the velocity to be higher. So here's how you do velocity switching between. So 106 was the bottom, so this would be 107. Down just a little bit. You know what might actually work better now that I'm thinking about it would be FM, because it has that dynamics, but it doesn't quite do the velocity switching thing. So let's get rid of the electric piano layer. Go over here to DX. Keyboard banks. I've got 3 different keyboard banks. I think I went keyboard bank 2. And immediately, since I'm calling up DX7, I'm going to open up this. This is the velocity curve of this layer. I'm going to take the max velocity down because the DX7 by default responds really sensitively to velocity, and it stopped at like 110. So anything above 110 is equal to 127. So that's why it's so bright. So if you bring down the velocity, make it a little bit exponential curve. Then open up DX. Let's solo this for a second and open up DX and here's all these pianos all ready for you to pick out. I love that piano. That'll be really pretty in here too, because here, all that nice kind of harmonic schmutz. Now, it doesn't fit the production yet, right? It's just dry. So let's get this into its own space that can match kind of there's this cool ethereal magic in here. So I need this to up its game, right? So I'm going to go over here to our reverbs. I'm going to play with data verb. We have like 11 different reverb types. Okay, longer. Now it's carrying out better. I needed to have a little bit more low end weight. One of my favorite effects inside of Unify under EQ is the MDA loudness. This just does this magic. It's like the loud button on old stereos. It just, you can control it, bringing up the low end without touching the high end. So here's without it. It's not really adding much here, because except for the thonk. So instead of that, I'm going to go a different route. I'm going to go filter, not filter max. I want to use the other option, EQ, flex EQ. So I'm bringing up a lot of low end because I wanted to have this weight. It also brought up a lot of noise. So I'm going to find where that honk is, and then I'm going to use the peak EQ to get rid of it. Now, it might sound a little funny, but I'm designing this to fit into this mix with everything else. So I wanted to become a component in it. And I want to be more velocity sensitive, so I'm going to use this velocity curve and just make it more of a smile. So it's gone more at softer velocities. And then maybe I can like have it when I hit. And you just play and find what works. Let's see, it's a little thick now, right? Yeah, okay, so. Find the frequencies you don't like by turning up the EQ. Maybe I'll use this to also go in here and then use this. Now this is really extreme, so let's bring it back into and a little bit less reverb. And then I want to get my all right, I have the name for this already. So we'll call this Z Drone Stay Put. I like that. And save to Cloudform, save. I'll clean this up more when I get it on speakers and stuff, but that's. It's the right idea. It's getting there. Hey there. Shane's in the house. Oh, there. Let me check. This is on Show MIDI. I have to make sure that we've got the latest versions for download. Yeah, so I'm using show MIDI effect and have it as a separate layer. Yeah. We've got a little tech support clinic going on. Shane shows up and all of a sudden, help, help, help. You know. All right, we were going to do a thing with the chords real quick. So let's do one of those and then probably call it a day. I hope this is helpful to you. I'm having a good time. I wanted to make, one thing I forgot. Need to go over here and say bonus. Save as bonus. Replace. So the thing I wanted to do with the chords, I wanted to go up to, I got to get into the right library. So Cloudform, chords. I wanted to add other things to this to make it an even bigger chord, but not just other chords. I mean, it's cool to like, this is major 7, 9. So we could add like open road. Let's just open layer 1. Oh wait, that's minor 7, right? Where's open road? That's nice. But I want to add stuff to this. So the way you would add other things to this, let's say we want to add a couple synth notes to this to make it a thicker, more interesting sound. So let's go over here to like synth. Maybe we'll add the Moog. Where is it at here? Moog space. Say layer 1. So the first thing we need to do, we need to get a shape. So bring down the amp envelope. Maybe I want it to be a little more snappy with the filter. And let's play the waveform. That's kind of cool and snappy. So I have one. All you have to do is say duplicate. And just duplicate. And you could duplicate as many times as you want. Maybe this top one, I want to ring it a little bit longer. So go to the filter. This is the magic of Unify 2. Notice that there's 3 different layers making up this chord right here. 1, 2, 3. If I can get my solo buttons to work. I can pan them anywhere I want them to be. And I can have each one be different. I could even put different effects. I could have this one be distorted a little bit more. So, a little bit thinner and in your face. Let's put that in the center of the stereo field and pan these guys. And I want the bass to not be a sine wave, so I could go Guru Sampler. Let's make sure we move the sample start in and go to Mega Magic Pads. One of the most used samples I've ever made that people use is Battleboard. Just because it's so you see how you can make maybe another place to look is inside a Del Norte synth. There's a couple really cool unisons here. Let's filter that. Now, this is one sound where if we go EQ, put this loudness on, you'll definitely notice this gets huge and round. So that's pretty cool. Let's see. Now, maybe we want to let's take this main one. That's the, oh, that's the synth that I did. Right. That's a cool start. So let's call this Z chord Doom Power chord. We'll call it just Doom Power. How's that? And call it bonus. Save as, save. Anybody want to request a special, like what kind of sound to make for the last sound? I'll make one more based on what you guys request. Oh, thank you, Wolf. Have a great day for you too. Should we make pad, keyboard, bass, something rhythmic? I haven't done anything rhythmic. I have some rhythmic ideas. Atmospheric patch. Okay, cool. Or maybe a pluck. Let's do atmospheric. So for atmospheric, let's go up here to one of the pads, like suspended. I have an idea for a fun suspension pad. So let's make this slower. Let's say band pass. Because band pass will play through all sorts of limited frequencies. So we can go over here. Let's say notes. We want to be probably eighth notes. Sample and hold for the filter. So how's that for a start? Let's also add treble troubles. And let's give this also a nice slow. Treble troubles works on everything. It's just magical. Let's put everybody through a little bit of reverb. And then let's get the Koshi chimes in this. So let's go over to Koshi chimes. Let's do slow because we're going to be playing chords with this, right? So maybe... Now to get these to work, let's do this. Let's go to EQ Filter Max. Let's put a high pass filter. And then I'm going to go over here to Guru Sampler, and I'm going to do a similar filter fun like I did with that one pad. So let's say notes, dotted, eighths, sample and hold. We got to do band pass. Let's see if this adds a sparkle. I'm thinking it will add. And I'll probably want to add a flex EQ. And I'm just going to do a blanket boost of EQ on the high end. So we really notice it. Let's see if that works. Now we need to maybe take it up an octave. So let's go plus 12. So I brought down the filter so that it only pops up every now and then with the filter doing the sample and hold. Let's put a delay on this. How's that? Yeah, Celestial Stars. There's the name for it. So I'll save this as it is right there. I mean, I could do so many other things to it, but let's just call it Z BPM pad. Great name. Thank you, Andrew. Good one. Celestial Stars. Let's say bonus. BPM. Save as. And since that was so fast, let's make a pluck too. Let's do an interesting pluck. Let's do a BPM pluck. So we could do like, it could do like bump, 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 kind of techno kind of things and stuff. So let's say, let's try this. Let's go over here. Let's say arpeggiator, blue arp. We're going to go over here. We're on 16th notes. Let's set it to chords. So that way it plays chords. And then let's turn off. I'll show you a fun thing I like to do with blue arp. You can and then in here, choose random for some of these other notes. Velocity. And then on top of this, let's find another one to put in here. Oh, you know, it's a really cool trick. Check this out. Lost My Weight is really cool when you move the sample way late. Let's see if this works. This might not work. So we go arpeggiator, blue arp, and this time let's just have it fully go random the whole time. And then I'm going to turn it off for a couple of things so it's not just always playing. Maybe I want to have it do a chord every now and then. Now, just so we see this in context, if I go over here to like something like Club Quirky and I say load that into a groove, so out every now and then, right? Let's do this. Let's fix this. Let's get this to be snappier, so we go like this, one shot. let's get this to work a little bit better. Let's put this to delay. And maybe I want a lo-fi pad with this just for fun. So let's go over here to Cloudform. Let's say suspended. This is such a nice pad. I love this. And then let's open up Pump House. Once again, I love to go like 1 bar, go numbered pulses. Let's say 8 down. Let's play around with the decay. What's fun is since it made the pulses, all you got to do is change the shape of a couple. If you hold down Option, you can drag down without moving the time. And then I'm going to do something silly. This is a test. So we've got this pad doing this, right? I'm going to bring the release down so it's shorter. And I'm going to bring the samples. And then I want to duplicate this. So we go duplicate, and instead of this sound, let's go to standard library, basic waveforms, like one of these cool noises. Because I want to have high end on the synth part. There's not much high end to play with, but a noise element doing the same thing. And because I'm using 2 oscillators, this is where the really fun stuff with Unify is. I can have different curve shapes on the noise from the synth part. So let's try that in the mix. So you could play around with this depth. Like you do in dance productions, right? So we want to move some knobs to those. And this plucky part, I need it to be emphasized too. So let's go over here. Let's say duplicate the layer. And let's solo this. And instead of this sound, let's use a brighter synth sound. Maybe from the library. Let's go like... Actually, some of the basses make really, really cool, like PowerPoint. It's got a cool octave in it. And let's put a little chorus on it. So let me open up so I can, instead of Filter Max, let's go over here, Unify, Mod, Silk. Now let it blend in a little bit better. Isn't that cool? Now let's get our knobs going for this stuff. So we don't need layer 1 attack and release anymore. So we'll say pad pump and noise pump. So this is like, oh, there's all these tech bands that I love to listen to. They're like the 90s techno thing. They do this stuff all the time, and it's just so cool. So this is the noise pump. So we go effect, pump house, depth, and let's go to pad pump. And all we have to do is say plus. We're on the maximum value, so it's going to go 0 to 100%. Instrument 1, effect, pump house, depth. There. Now I can automate those in my sequencer. So you can automate that kind of stuff. You could, like, let's say take this reverb and let's have it so that it's only affecting layers, what is this, 5? You can just type in 5 there and say +1, and we'll say this is the pad verb. So that way, isn't that cool? Let's get this to be even louder. All right, so let's say bonus. And then I have to give you these patches. I'm gonna give you these patches right now. How's that? Since it's my birthday weekend, I wanna like make fun stuff and give it to everybody. So, what should we call this? All right, Rob, see ya. That's cool, man. Serious vibe. So we should say BPM pad. Oh, dupes. Nice. Okay, what do we call this? It should be one of those like, let's see, I'll see if you guys give suggestions, but I call it Live Strong. I can't think of what to call it, so maybe we'll call it, Happy Dance. Let's call it Happy Dance. All right, and it's bonus. Save as save. And we should have a drum on and off too. So let's do this. Let's say drum on and off. So we could just have this be like Silky Road. Yeah, it could be Silky for sure. I'll keep Happy Dance. So let's go over here, instrument, drums, enable. So I'm using enable so that you can have it play and then just set it to disable, and it doesn't change until you play new notes. Right? Let's do this. One more little trick I want to do. Give it just a little bit of atmosphere, but not this atmosphere. So we'll say, I like to use reverbs like Dragonfly Hall. Get rid of the low end. There we go. I like that. Maybe a little bit more high end. And maybe like 5 on the kick. Check my volumes. I'm hitting red a little too hard. better. So now it's the new chords. Can't do it all at once. This is where you need to automate. But you get the idea. So happy dance. Happy. Stuck on a note. We're gonna do the binaural folk once they go to Unify. I'll step you through the process. Let's call it. Yeah, we'll just call it happy dance. That's fine. So if I say bonus, are you doing the bonus? I guess all these patches have. I have to think of a different word for it. Shoot, let's see here. Let's call it live stream. LS. Live stream like that. So if I say update that, if I go up here and say LS. At least shows up that way. Well, we could call it LS 25 because it's 2025, right? Let's try that. So LS 25. Okay, we'll use that as the code. So what I need to do really quick is go to the Finder, show this as a list, and go to date modified so I can see what patches I made. So Celestial Stars. BPM pad. Let's go over here. BPM pad, Celestial Stars. Come here. Let me name this with LS25. Update. Doom Power right here is also LS25 because I want you guys to be able to find these. LS25. Update. Stay Put, the drone. Now, these might get improved from where they are. So, CCC, did I forget to go? It might be up here. What is it? Z drone. And did I save it into, let's see, C drone. Oh, here it is. Stay put. So, there we go. Live stream 25. And then there's one more. Dark Clouds. We did that with the chord first. So Dark Clouds, BPM chord. Save. Go. LS25. Update. So now if you say LS25, there you go. 5 bonus patches that we made. We've got Doom Powered, Stay Put for the Dark Clouds, Celestial Stars, and then Happy Dance. Ended on a happy note. So let's do this. I'm going to go over here. I have to say new folder, libraries. And let's put this right here so you can see the process. This is kind of fun. So we want to go over here. I'm going to copy the whole library just to be sure I do it right. So you copy into a folder called libraries, the library. And then I'm going to open this up. We didn't add any new media. We didn't add any new MIDI files or samples. So I can get rid of those. We did add patches, just these 5 at the top. So I'm going to say just those 5 because everything else is UPFs, right? So there. Now I got to do is compress. And let's give it the name. Let's see. Paste and say Cloudform LS bonus. And then instead of zip, we rename it Guru. And we say yes. And then I'm going to put this into Dropbox really quick. Let's go over here. Where is our freebies? Go to my I have a special folder for libraries, and we'll say form. Open that, put this in here. Copy the Dropbox link. So you have to have this library. That's a requirement. And then here is the chat. Oh, thank you guys. Yeah. So happy birthday to everybody. There's 5 bonus patches. Now, the way that it works, let's go back to the Finder really quick. If we go to the Dropbox, let's see here. If I do it this way, probably the fastest. Go here and say, show in the Finder. So all you have to do with this is drag this over the folder or the interface of Unify, and it will say install unified content. Now you have to have Cloudform installed. Otherwise, there's no reason to even do this. So have it, if you have Cloudform, say okay. If you have the patches, it will overwrite them. It will refresh the library. If you're in Cloudform, you don't see them, hit the little refresh. Just go up here and say LS25. And there they are. So you can call them up and play. And you play Happy Dance. Run around the room dancing all day. I thought about putting a bass with this, but I didn't take it there. You'd add a separate track could do the bass line that you want, but it'd be very, we're past, but we'll stop there. But it'd be really fun to add a bass to this. Boom, 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 boom. But we have to stop. I can't do this all day. My brain is so tired after these things. But anyway, thank you for joining us. Let's do our shout outs from wherever you are. Shout out from Eagle, Idaho. And I'll put the library as a link in the video description as well. So if you don't see it in the chat, you can check the video description and it will be there too. All right. Thank you all for joining us. It's been great. Good time. And we'll see you next week. Special stuff happening next weekend too. So there's good stuff coming out. Shout out from Canada, eh? Right on, mate, eh? From Colorado, good to see you all. Les in Poland, good to see you, Les. Oh, thank you, Bill. Yeah, I'm gonna sit and play my piano on my birthday. Can't wait. Actually, I have people here putting in a drainage system. This house has a little bit of an underground leak from the sprinklers, and so that's the first thing on the list to fix, so that we don't have moisture under the house. So that's being done on my birthday. Yeah, Taylor, happy birthday, man. Good to see you. Yeah, Taylor's birthday is in July. Thank you. Yeah, piano's awesome. I'm really happy with piano. So, all right, guys. Well, thank you for joining us from wherever you are. Christopher in Paris. Hey, hello. Yeah, thanks for joining us. We will see you in a live stream next Saturday, same time. We'll be here. Thank you all for the birthday wishes. I appreciate that very much. Thank you. All right. We'll see you all later, okay? Have a great week. Stay safe. Bye, everybody.